I'm going to talk about my current works in progress that are more contemporary, so that aren't vintage. The first thing that I should probably do is tell you what I'm wearing. Sorry, the camera's bumping around. Charlie just bumped it by accident. Um, so the problem that I have, and one of the reasons that I haven't made a podcast in the past, is that I so often don't follow patterns properly, which means it's of limited value to other people who are looking to knit a pattern. So what I'm wearing today is actually the easy one by, and I'm sorry if I pronounce this wrong, I think it's Woolyknit. Um, it's an oversized drop shoulder sweater. I knitted one, when would that have been? I knitted one a few years ago and it was really baggy and oversized. That's the way it's designed to be, with slim fitting arms. And I'm so short that I made it to the right length for my body. And I maybe did it a size bigger than I should have, or maybe a couple of sizes too big. But it looked like an actual square. I mean, it was almost a perfect square. So to call it boxy would be an understatement, and it was really, really unflattering. So it was nothing to do with the design. The design is lovely and easy. It's to do with my body shape and the fact that I'm really short. So yeah, I turned that into a cushion. I basically took the arms off and turned the square into a cushion, and a really big cushion too. It kind of is the base of a chair now. Um, but I liked the pattern, and it was the first jumper that I ever knitted, and I really liked it. I liked the pattern itself. So what I then did was I kind of messed around with it, and this is what I do a lot, so I don't know how helpful this is to other people or not. So I knit this jumper here using that pattern, and I knit the smallest size on smaller needles than are recommended, and I just did some colour work. I just added that in myself, and I did some waist shaping. And the way that I did that is I just gradually decreased stitches towards the waist and then increased just a little bit for the bottom. And then I just left the neckline and the sort of sleeves. I just didn't add sleeves, and I really liked it. I've made a few of these, so I'll maybe show you some more at various points. But this was the first one that I did. I really like the fit, and I really do just like it. It's very simple, and I like the way it fits. I mean, I don't know, not everyone would like the top. It is a bit unfinished looking, I guess, but I really like it. I think there's a wee end I need to weave in that I hadn't noticed before. So yeah, that's the sort of thing I do. I don't, like I say, that anybody who was wanting to knit the easy one, I don't know that it would be helpful to them in any way. So, but if you want to look it up, it's a really good starter jumper. It's a very good first jumper. I'm trying to remember now. You start on the top knitting in the flat, and then you join in the round. The original pattern's just plain, like I say. I just added the colour work to this. Very, very simple, very straightforward and very easy. If you like oversized jumpers, you can just follow it exactly and you'll probably really enjoy it. So yeah, that is what I'm wearing. What I'm working on at the moment, I've got a few things on the go. So the first one I thought I would show you is I'm working on the Nouveau Cowl. I should have made a note. It's Hunt Designs. I'll put a note in the description box of the designer. It's, oh my goodness. Oh, I did remember. But if you look up the Nouveau Cowl on Ravelry or Instagram or anything like that, this will come up. So I'll show you the work in progress first. No, in fact, I'll show you. I did a version before, and I've actually turned it into a plant pot cover. I know that sounds bonkers, but it really fitted this. I like to upcycle and reuse things, and I buy bird seed, and it comes in these plastic tubs, and I started using them as plant pots because they're the perfect sort of shape and size for that, and it's a nice way to reuse plastic rather than throwing it out. And but they're clear, they're transparent. So I knitted the Owl Nouveau Cowl for myself, and I do like it a lot, and I'll probably knit myself another one. But this one, I just was like, this would be the perfect pot cover. So rather than take it off, because I'm a bit worried that the pot might have stretched it all out of shape, I've actually brought the plant over to show you. So this is the Owl Nouveau Cowl. Isn't that beautiful? I really, really love this pattern. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So the owls go all the way around. There are 3 owls in total. And yeah, so this was my original version, now a plant pot cover. And I have this amazing friend, American friend from Boston, and I wanted to make her a gift, and I thought, oh, the Owl Nouveau Cowl is the perfect. I'm sorry I say that funny. People in Scotland, we say things kind of funny. So, for example, we say world and girl, and so I think a lot of people would pronounce cowl cowl. I can't do it in an English accent, but so I'm sorry if that's annoying. So I can't seem to say it, and because I say owl as well, so I say Owl Nouveau Cowl, and I just think, I don't think that's how most people probably say it. It probably comes out Owl Nouveau Cowl. So yeah, I'm sorry if that's annoying. I'm going to stop saying it. I'll just say Owl Nouveau from now on. So yeah, I thought it was the perfect gift to give someone because it really is a special design. It's not super difficult, but it's not easy. And so it's a nice one. It's the sort of thing that not just everyone could knit for themselves, and it's really unique. And she loves green. She kind of, I'd spoken to her about it, and she had said browns and greens might be nice. I tried so many different yarn combinations for this, and I had quite a few fails. So I'd gotten some brown and green felted tweed from Rowan, and I'd never used that yarn before, so I didn't realise how sort of floppy and drapey it is. So it was too floppy and drapey for a cowl. But also the contrast just wasn't high enough. It's such a beautiful design that you don't want the picture to get lost, and the contrast wasn't, it just wasn't enough. So I got, what did I try after that? I tried another combination of yarns, and again the contrast, I just didn't feel like it was high enough because I was going for the green and brown. It's actually really difficult with green and brown, I think, to get good contrasting colours that complement one another. So I ended up going for 2 shades of green, a very, very pale green and a much darker, brighter one, and that works a lot better. So I'll just show you where I'm at with this one. Oh, my stitch marker's gonna fall off. It's my favourite stitch marker. I'll put a link to it's a wee indie designer, hand carves these lovely little mushrooms. But yeah, so this is how far I've gotten with her cowl in the shades of green. So the darker green is Parrot, and I'm trying to remember the name of the paler green now. I think it's Pistachio. It looks really, really light on camera, but it's just a very soft pale green. And I did some corrugated ribbing at the bottom with a browny green just to get the shades of brown in that she likes. So this is Drops Daisy, and this is quite a good combination of incredibly soft but not too floppy. I've since seen, I think it was Amy Palco or the Creabea who mentioned knitting a jumper in Drops Daisy and it getting quite bobbly, so I'm a little bit worried about that because I've never used it before. But at the moment it's just really soft and lovely. I'm going to put it closer to the camera and maybe you'll see the colours a bit better. So yeah, I'm working away on this. It's a really lovely pattern. It knits up reasonably quick. It's taken me a wee while because if you do colour work, especially when it's not small pattern repeats, when it's an actual picture like that, you'll know that you can't do one stitch wrong. If you do one stitch, the whole thing is just wrong. And so I have had to unpick, because I insist on watching TV and films while I do these things. And so I just every now and again I'm like, oh, I've made a mistake, and then I have to, and sometimes I don't notice for ages and I have to unpick rows and rows to get it back. But it's the sort of thing you can't just leave it because it just ruins the whole thing. So one wrong stitch can make the whole thing wrong. So I've had to unpick quite a few times. So this is so late. I can't even remember when I came up with the idea that I was going to knit this for my friend, but I figure now that we're in summer, I mean, you know, she's not going to be able to wear it now until the winter, so I figure that's okay. There's no sort of desperate rush for it now, but I'm about, I would say maybe halfway, maybe a little bit more than halfway now, so I'm getting there, and I seem to be on a bit of a roll with it now, so I haven't made any mistakes for ages. So I'm hoping this will get finished soon, but I really highly recommend the pattern. It's lovely. It's so much fun to work on. I would say pick your yarn based on, it's got to, so it goes around your neck obviously, and I'm a bit worried about the ribbon on this. Might need a little bit of elastic woven in, I'm not sure, but you want it, this one, because of the picture, you want it to kind of sit up and be visible. You don't want it all flopping over. So I would say if you're gonna knit this, that's something definitely to think about, is not too drapey a yarn. And high contrast, because anything less contrast than this, and I just don't think it turns out so well, and there's a lot of work goes into it, so it's a bit of a shame if you do that. So that is the first thing I'm working on. I'm also working on a wee jumper, but before I show you the jumper, I'm going to show you a finished object, although you might consider it a half finished object. I started a half and half triangles wrap. I'm really late to the party. It's such a popular design and people have been knitting it for years now. I just never got round to trying it. I started one using, this is Woolyknit, and it's 4-ply British wool in the colourway Fandango, and I love it. I mean, I think it's coming up quite accurately on camera. It is so bright, it's like highlighter pink. Absolutely love it. So all I knew was that I was going to do the first half in this, and then I would decide what colour when I got to the second half. So I knitted the first half, and I thought, this is huge. This is really big. It's actually not as big as I thought. It looked really huge. When I read it, it's not as huge. I'll maybe input a wee video or some photographs of me wearing it. Or well, I can show you in a wee minute. But what I ended up deciding, I asked people on Instagram, what colour do you think should go with it? And it got loads of lovely advice, and I was trying to narrow it down between red and orange to go with it. And but when I finished the first half, I was like, do you know, this is just going to be double the bulk. You know, I'm going to knit the other half and it's just going to be twice as weighty, twice as much fabric, but not bigger because it's a triangle. And so I decided to cast off. I resolved the stitches. I got my Japanese stitch bible out and I found a wee pattern that I thought might make a nice border. I did that in red, and then I just bound off because I'll show you. So, let's see. The thing is that these are so huge. People always struggle to show them on camera, don't they? But yeah, so this is my half of a half and half triangle strap. And I don't think the border's gonna show up that well on here. Although, not too bad. And so yeah, I don't know if anyone else has ever done that before, but I like the shape, I like the size, and I just thought, I don't think I'm gonna wear this if it's double the size. So yeah, I really like it. I think it's a good size. So I cast on, I think it was 230 stitches, and I did an I-cord aging of 2 stitches, and yeah, I really like it like this. I think I'll probably knit a proper half and half triangle strap with the 2 colours at some point, just because it's really fun to knit. That is not an exaggeration. People always say how soothing it is and how it's a project that they want to do again. I completely agree with that. I finished it and I really like this finished size and the finished garment, but I was a bit like, oh, but now I can't knit on it anymore, so I'm probably going to do another one, and I'll probably do the full size. But yeah, I can't imagine having double this weight of fabric on me. It feels quite big and unwieldy, I would have thought. So I'll see how it goes. I might just use it as a blanket, something for kind of couching up on the sofa with, or something like that if I knit another one. And then I get to play with more colour choices. But I love this Fandango. This Woolyknit Fandango colour is amazing, which brings me to my next work in progress. So I cast off this shawl and I was like, I love this colour so much. And I had loads left. See these cones? They're such good value for money. So I don't know how much goes into half of a half and half. It is slightly smaller than is called for, but I think it's around 300 grams of yarn, and look how much I've still got left. I mean, it's amazing. So this cost, I think Young Folks Knit had their sort of knit along with Woolyknit on at the time, and I managed to get a discount. Young Folks Knits is a podcast, check her out, really, really good. So I think I got it for £28 and it's normally 30. But even at £30, I think it's amazing because the number of things I'm going to get out of this is quite astonishing, really, and it's pure wool, and the range of colours is amazing. So I immediately, when I finished this, was like, I need a jumper in this colour, I really do. So I had previously knitted, I always say Isabel McDonald because I have a work colleague. Oh, it's Jessica McDonald's Woodsmoke. I knitted that using actually the Rowan felted tweed that I'd bought for my friend's cowl. I just bought some more, turned that into a Woodsmoke, and which is slightly heavier than the yarn called for, so it calls for sport weight. Rowan felted tweed it says it's a DK, but it's a very, very sort of lightweight DK, so I used that. It turned out okay. I can talk about that if anyone's interested in another episode. It was very shapeless on me, and this is a problem that I just have all the time, and I'm not really sure if it's because I'm short or I've got weird body shape, or I don't know. It ended up looking really puffy around my waist, and I don't really like the shape, so I actually sticked it. I sort of hand sewed some waist shaping, and I just cut it off, and that made all the difference, and now I love it. So I'll maybe wear that in another episode and I can talk about that if you're interested. So I started a new one using Woolyknit Fandango and holding it double with Mohair, because Jessica McDonald said that that basically makes a sport weight. So let me find the front. Here's the start. So I did some corrugated ribbing at the top, and the advice that my Instagram followers and friends gave me around good complementary colours for this pink. So most people liked the idea of red and orange, so I am incorporating them into my jumper. So I don't know if you can really see, but the corrugated rib has got a kind of variegated orange and the pearl stitches. I've done a little bit of colour work again. So this is and it's an opal sock yarn that has various shades of sort of oranges and yellows and pinks in it. Yeah, I can't remember the name of that one. I can put it down if I find it. And then the cherry red that I'm using in my 1940s Aurora jumper, I am using some of that held double with dark rose mohair for some colour work down here. And so that's as far as I've gotten with this one so far. So Woodsmoke is knitted top down. It's a circular yoke, and Jessica McDonald has made honestly the most generous video. It's hours long where she literally talks you through everything from binding on your stitches, casting on your stitches, everything. Every single step of the way she talks you through it. She knits a child size version, and I ended up, it's such a well written pattern that I didn't actually really need to refer to the video much, even though I haven't knitted that many jumpers, and I thought it was one of the reasons I chose that pattern, is because I thought that's amazing. I can just, if I get stuck, I can go and check. But she gives amazing advice, like when you get to the point where you can try your jumper on, she just recommended getting a circular needle of the same size and knitting half onto that, try it on, and then just knitting it back instead of taking things in and out, which I find an absolute nightmare. Honestly, life changing. That's all I do. That's what I do from now on, is you take the same size of needle and you just knit, you know, like half round, and then you can stretch it out and put it on, and then you just keep it. There's nothing taking it out and putting it back in. So that's one of the things I've really kept from that video. So thank you, Jessica McDonald, because all these, you know, cords people feed through and taking needles in and out, you don't really need to do that. So that was very welcome advice. So I shouldn't have this on at the same time because it's kind of, so I've toned down the Fandango pink just a bit because I am holding it double with, I've got two different shades of mohair that I'm using. So I'm using this red, so this is just Drops Kids Silk Mohair. This is the shade red. I'm holding it double at the top for the yoke with the pink, and this is Drops Kid Silk in dark rose, and I'm holding this double with the colour work that I'm currently doing here. And then I think I'm going to switch to this when I do the waist downwards. And now that I've gotten to that, so the shaping issues that I had with my last Woodsmoke, what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to take what I learned from my Aurora 1940s jumper. She recommends when you get to the waist section, going down a needle size to cinch in the waist. So what I'm going to do, so you knit, well, I am knitting mine on 3.5mm needles, and then when I get to the waist, so I'll be trying it on, you know, as I go. When I get to the waist, instead of reducing stitches, which is what I did with this one, and I just kind of, I don't know, I didn't do any special maths, it's a miracle it turned out. I think I'll go down 3.75 to start off with, and then I'll go down to 3, then back up to 3.75, and then back up. No, hang on, is that right? 3.25. I'll probably do that and it'll be all wonky. 3.25, then 3, then 3.25, then back up to 3.5. I'll let you know how I get on. This is where podcasts can be quite interesting, because I'm telling you I'm going to do that, and you might be like, that is not going to work, or it's going to look really funny. So tune in to hopefully the next episode to see how that works or not. But I'm hoping that that will just cinch in the waist a little bit and just stop that puffiness from happening. And I'm thinking what I might do with this one is rather than doing just the ribbon, I think I might split the hem and then do rib, because one of the reasons I think the other one looked so puffy is that the ribbon really cinched it in, and I don't know, I didn't really like it. That hasn't happened with this one, like this ribbon doesn't cinch this in. But then I did some decreases, and I feel like if I hadn't, it maybe would look puffy. I don't know. Do you have issues like that? I don't know. I know everyone has fit issues and it's different for everyone. I think one of my issues might be I've got very sort of straight shoulders. One of my previous bosses, she said to me that I've got coat hanger shoulders. At the time, I didn't know if that was a compliment or an insult. It's neither, really. It's just I've got very straight shoulders, and then my bust size isn't exactly massive, but it is quite a bit bigger than my waist measurement, which means because you always choose knitting patterns based on your bust measurement, I do think that other parts of the jumper can tend to be a bit sort of baggy looking or pouchy. So yeah. So tune in to see how that jumper turns out. I'm just trying to think if I'm working on a few other things that have been just sitting for ages, sort of languishing, but these are the things that I'm actively working on at the moment. And yeah, I reckon by the next time I do a podcast, I'll definitely have finished those two, because I'm really working away on them quite hard now. It depends, I guess, how quickly it is before I do another podcast. The 1940s Aurora jumper, I might wait until that's finished, and I think that's probably going to take me longer, because these two, well, the Nouveau Cowl's nearly done, and the jumper's just so much easier than the 1940s one, just because it's in the round and I'm kind of making it up as I go along. So yeah, hopefully next episode I'll be able to show you the finished Owl Nouveau and the finished pink Woodsmoke. So yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to wear them, and I just hope they turn out